first reading is from the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verses 1 to 9. A man of the house of Levi went and took a wife of the daughter of Levi. So the woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a beautiful child, she hid him away for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she took an ark of bulrushes for him, daubed it with asphalt and pitch, and put the child in it, and laid it in the reeds by the river's bank. And his sister stood afar off to know what would be done to him. Then the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, and her maids walked to the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her maids to get it. And when she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby wept. So she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call a nurse for you from the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. Then Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him, and the child grew. Amen. As you can see, up here we have a depiction of a baby in a basket. And I want you to think about the baby being Moses and the basket being made out of the reeds that you see here up on the chancel. Reeds are long, slender grass that grow alongside of heavy kind of perhaps bamboo-like structure, a kind of tube that has sections in it. And it grows very, very tall, especially in watery places like along riverbanks. Perhaps you've seen bulrushes that have a big dark brown thing on top of them, and it has much thicker leaves than this one. We don't know exactly what the bulrushes were like that Moses was put into, but we do know he was hidden away in the tall grass and the reeds, and yet could be seen enough that when Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe or to go swimming down by the river, she saw the child amongst the bulrushes and sent her servant girls to go and find the child and pick it up and bring it to her. And she looked at it, and it says when she opened up the ark, she opened up the top of what would have been covering baby Moses, and she looked at the child. He was beautiful, and it said he cried. Babies cry, right? And she had compassion. And lots of times it's a baby crying or anybody crying that brings out what's compassionate in us. When we see somebody else that's sad or it needs help or it's hurting, we think, what can we do to help? That's compassion. We desire to help another person. So this ark is something that you could put something or someone in. Do you know of any other stories in the Word that talk about arks? I want you to think about that for a second. What other stories talk about arks? I wonder if the first one that comes to mind is the story of Noah's Ark. Remember that story? It takes place long before the story of Moses. And it's said to have taken place because the people were so bad, so sinful, that their evils and their desires drowned them. But the Lord prepared a way for people to find Him again. And an ark stands for something being prepared or hidden away. Are you familiar with another ark? Perhaps you've heard of the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was a box in which the Lord had Moses put the 10 Commandments. Moses, when he grew up much older than a baby, the Lord led him to a mountain and said, here are the 10 commandments. And he gave them many other laws and statutes and commandments. But the 10 most important ones he wrote with his own finger, the Lord did, and said, put this into the ark. Make a box with angels on top, with their wings touching, and put handles along the side so you can carry it. So I hope you can see this depiction of the Ark of the Covenant with the angels' wings touching and the staves or handles that allowed them to carry it from place to place. So these are 2 arks. Put that one there. Put this one over here. Perhaps can't see it right now as I'm talking. And then this is the one we're talking about today. I wonder if you can think of another ark. Some sort of thing that would hold secrets, hold something very precious. That held Moses, the baby, an ark. This held all of the wildlife and the people that would survive the flood. Very precious. And this held the word of the Lord. Very precious. Your own heart and your own mind are another kind of ark. The Lord's giving you what you need now. And lots of times he hides that away within you. And I don't know if you can notice, but I have 5 bulrushes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the number 5 stands for what's small and insignificant. Think of all the huge, huge numbers. 5 is half of 10, obviously, and our hands together give us great power. 5 is something less than all the power that we have. It's enough, though. And the Lord is always giving us enough. The Lord gave Moses, he was enough to lead the children of Israel, who had way overextended their stay in Egypt. They had come down for a famine, and when the famine was over, shouldn't they have left? The Lord called them to go into the Holy Land, but things were comfortable. Things were nice. Pharaoh treated Joseph and his family very well, and they just stayed and stayed and stayed. 400 years they stayed. And then it says, Moses said, it's time to go back to the land that we belong in, the land of Israel. So the Lord gave the children of Israel just enough, a little baby, that could be raised up into the great leader Moses. The Lord also gives us in our hearts an ark, the things of the Word, the recitations, the lessons, the commandments, the things we memorize, the things we know, and we begin to know them by heart. And they're like an ark where the Lord places the secret power of his own kingdom within us, that when we need it, the Lord allows for that to grow and develop and draws us out of our troubles, our bulrushes, and into what's called the promised land, things of heaven. Amen.